I am producing an album for J.W. Jones, a Canadian blues artist, really ripping guitar player and singer.
With every release, you try to change it up a little bit. A lot of artists go to LA or they go to Nashville to record, and I thought, this is my opportunity. I want to go to Nashville and record this record and do something different, work in a big studio with a big producer. He brought songs, he co-wrote a lot of the songs with me, arrangements, he played drums on it. I mean, he's the ringleader of the whole thing.
Behind the glass, kind of controlling everything and directing everybody, as well as drumming. I mean, just an incredible musician, and really just kind of lets things happen.
So I assembled a great bunch of guys. Dave Rowe on bass, who's played with Dwight Lippin and Johnny Cash and a lot of people. And a dear friend, and Rob McNelley, a great guitar player that I've used on many records, and Reese Wynans, who he hasn't really done much besides play with Stevie Ray Vaughan and the Allman Brothers or whatever.
Great band, great guys, great songs, great artists. Just one of those days. It's always a lot of fun.
That's my first love kind of music. So great departure from what I usually do here in Nashville.
Really a lot of fun. It was stuff that I normally do not get to do.
And then I had another day with JW's band.
Today it was really cool because we got to use the JW's band with Laura and Jamie.
But the first day, when I was on my way to the studio, JW called and he was suffering from a bad case of food poisoning. So the poor guy was just, not well. You know how that goes. So the first day I had to get in there and, I tracked with the guys and I showed the songs and I sang them and played them, and we ended up getting some really cool tracks. But it was nail biting time, because I was hoping for his sake he was going to pull through this, and he showed up like a trooper, all shades of green, and walked in and proceeded to start laying down tracks with us.
Oh, I'm sweating now.
So we got a good day.
Cat keeps howling and it won't shut up. Needs a little sugar in his loving cup.
We opened the record with Love Times 10. It was written by Tom Hambridge and a Canadian writer named Colin Linden, who also works down in Nashville and lives there. I mean, we wanted to come out of the gate with a rocker, and that's what we did. And it's like an old rock and roll tune. It's got a great hook. As soon as I heard that song, I fell in love with it, and that's what made me want to make the rest of the record sound as cool as that song. Watch Your Step is a Bobby Parker cover. We didn't change it a whole lot from the original, but we added a different flair to it. I tuned down my guitar to drop D for this one, and kind of got into more of like it almost has a surf vibe. And I arranged a really cool part at the end too that the whole band gets in on. I actually did wear a blue jean jacket back in my younger days. And I picture the jacket. I can picture a whole time of what I was doing, who I was hanging out with, what was going on. And I want to write, a nostalgic piece about what was happening in my life at the time. It's just meant to be a fun tune, take people back. Coming After Me is one of those tunes that Tom brought to me before we even went down to Nashville to record. And it's another one that I fell for. It's got a short guitar solo. It's all about the vocal. And it's a great story. It's got a great vibe. It casts some really great imagery in that tune. I really wanted to go outside of the usual form, the usual blues form. Basically, this came from a riff. I played a riff, and I remember recording it to my iPhone. I was like, hey, I just played this cool thing, and maybe I'll use it someday. And literally, a year and a half, 2 years later, I'm sitting down with that riff and saying, okay, how do I turn this into a song? And I thought it would be cool to do something different and maybe have the vocal follow the melody of the riff, kind of like, some of the Black Keys stuff, or, Howlin' Wolf. Or
I wanted to talk about that because that's the one that gave me the most trouble because it's such a weird friggin' song. I couldn't figure out how I could add what to add to it to make it cooler, than not having me on it at all. And so I tried a couple of different things. I tried playing the riff. I tried padding, which is a regular thing you do on organ, and none of that really worked well. And so I let them go ahead and track it, and I came back to overdub it this evening, and it worked out pretty well. I kind of got a little bit more of an R&B approach to it, and a bigger organ sound. And I think what we ended up with was better than all of my other ideas for this put together. So I think it turned out really well.
Then we got Jamie playing a great New Orleans beat on it, and it's just, it kind of takes off. Especially, this is one of those tunes where when we play it live, it really takes off. It goes into almost kind of like a jam band kind of vibe, kind of, feel. And I like that because it's totally different for me, and that's something that I want to do on this record.
Can of words here, but one thing that was really charming about that take was what you did out front, that do, do. And we all kind of, maybe I'm crazy with that, unless you just want to make it real straight up professional record, You know what I mean?
It's another way of saying, hey, our relationship didn't work out. You did me wrong. But now I'm looking back on it and I'm saying, thank you for doing me wrong, because my life is so much better now. And that's what I wanted to portray in this song, that so many people are in relationships or even have friendships where it's not going very well, but you're in it, you're stuck in it, you feel like you should stay committed, you should stay in it. And for me, I went through that, and I wanted to write a song about it. Magic West Side Boogie. It's a tune that we play live, and we've been doing it for several years. It always gets the crowd going. It's something, I really try to let loose on. And the thing was, how do we capture that energy in the studio? So Jamie and Laura on this one, so it's the same band we play with live, and I think we nailed it. It just, it's got all the energy I wanted it to have, and it's a tribute to Magic Sound. Needless to say, Jimmy Vaughn is one of my biggest influences. I remember many times being on stage, and sometimes you get carried away. You start to play too fast, you play too many notes. You just have to take a deep breath, come back and think, back to the less is more school. Where I came from was listening to B.B. King, T-Bone Walker, Anson Thunderbird, Jimmy Vaughn, the Texas Crew. And I remember being on stage and thinking to myself, what would Jimmy do right now in this situation, in this song? And that line stuck with me. What would Jimmy do? It's definitely not the type of style that I've ever recorded before. And Tom said, hey man, this is one for you. It's gonna sound great. But when I got time to do the guitar solo, he sang it. He goes, go, ba, 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 na, 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 na. And he just sang it, and he was getting in the groove, and then I'm holding the guitar, and I thought, all right. So I found those notes, and we recorded it once on one guitar setting, and then we recorded the whole solo a second time on a different guitar setting, and they blended on the record, and it sounds really cool. I love it. It might be one of my favorite guitar solos on the whole album. I've never recorded a Buddy Guy song, and I've been seeing him since I was 15 years old. I've played at his club in Chicago, Buddy Guy's Legends, One of my favorite records of his is called Live at the Checkerboard Lounge. And I want to capture a sound, a real wild sound that Buddy Guy gets when he plays live. And so we picked this tune, Tell Me What's Inside of You, and it's got a cool kind of 70s, 80s vibe from the Chicago style. It's not 50s vibe, it's not 60s vibe, it's more 70s, 80s, where the bands were playing differently in Chicago, and this is a prime example of it. It's got a total contemporary feel, and yeah, we let loose on it. It's just a blast to sing this one. I kind of wanted to write this from the perspective of the guy getting into trouble, and then waking up the next day and realizing, oh, that was not worth it at all. What am I doing? Cocaine Boy is the song we worked the hardest on in terms of the lyrics and the whole concept. One of the big things about this record for me was pushing the boundaries and talking about the real stuff that's happened in my life. And this is my 8th record, and there are a lot of things about me that people don't know. People see me out there on the road or on stage, and they think, oh, this guy's doing well, he's had it easy, or whatever they think. It's tough when you come from a background where you were not handed everything. You really had to work hard, and my home life wasn't what most kids had. It was very different, and I went through a lot of stuff.
Kind of out there and spacey, but it was just basically one musical idea, and I don't think they really had a premise of where it was going to go.
So I thought it was time to write a song that was very deep and very real, and I want people to relate to it. That's the main thing about this tune for me. In a way, it was a way to feel better about it, put it in a song, get it out there. Now it's public. People will see a lot more of me than they ever have before. They're going to know a lot more about me than they ever have before. And I'm at the age now where I'm fine with it.
Tom just said, let's just get out there, put us in record, and don't stop until you know.
Got pretty experimental there, a bunch of reverse guitars, and just me having fun, going crazy, not caring what happens. I don't know, I like that stuff.
So I just kept the click running, and man, just what ensued was some of just the coolest spur of the moment stuff, and that's the kind of moments you live for.
Collection of songs and a lot of different colors, and it's going to be wider than just a blues record. And but I think that's cool. That's cool, and blues encompasses all kinds of stuff. It's pretty deep.
One thing about leaving Nashville is I've never had this feeling before. So fulfilled. I came to Nashville and I did exactly what I wanted to do.